Alright all, welcome back to a new video on Blair White's blog. It feels very rare and very strange saying that. It's been a long time since the last drink was poured. I think it was Christmas time where I last did one of these little quick fire videos for you. I suppose as it led up to Cheltenham, I was doing so much stuff with Josh on Let's Talk Racing and was loving every bit of it. But as a realisation, and as I suppose it came closer and closer, it was taking up a lot of my time. And as I say, we were kind of covering everything you needed to know, so therefore I didn't end up doing anything throughout the spring months. But that being said, we always take a little bit of a break for summer, and I think that's nice, to be honest. We don't overly look at the flat racing from a day-to-day basis, and I think it's good to sometimes just recharge the batteries. But as a result, it does mean that I have a bit more time on my hands from a racing perspective. I'm chock-a-block at the moment with cricket commentary, but I'm still doing daily stuff for Which Bookie, and if you want a little bit more of a condensed look at my selections for each day of the Royal Ascot meeting, make sure to look at Which Bookie's YouTube channel, or look at Which Bookie, obviously, as a website where I've put up my main selections for the day. But I'm kind of going to go through race by race, as I always have done in these style videos for the day one card of the Royal Ascot meeting, and a little Brucey bonus from Roscommon to finish off the day. But as I say, if you enjoy this video, please do give it a like, subscribe to the channel, let me know how you've been. There's been an awful lot of people that I probably haven't been in touch with on this channel for an awful long time, so hopefully everyone's keeping well, and hopefully everyone's looking forward to a good week. As much as I'm not a massive flat man, Royal Ascot's always a good week. It's fantastic racing, and also there's a few of those long distance races where you see some of the old favourites from the jumps game as well. Starting off with tomorrow though, 2:30, the Queen Anne Stakes. I think this is one where you just have to sit back, obviously, and watch one of potentially the best horses we've seen in the last number of years in Baid. I just hope he goes and does the job. He's a fantastic horse. I don't think there's anything in here that he can't beat and beat easily. So fingers crossed he goes and does that job. So 3:05, the commentary stakes. I quite like Blackbeard in this at 3-1. I know it's not overly original, but that being said, he's been very good in his 3 starts so far for Aidan O'Brien. Aidan O'Brien's had a pretty lively start with his early season 2-year-olds, which isn't necessarily like him based off the last couple of years. This horse has been quickly out of the traps. He's won a maiden, he's won a listed race, and he won a rated race last time out very impressively. I think he's a very good horse there. And Ryan Moore's pick. Now, you could make a strong case for the other O'Brien horse. You can obviously make a case for the Hannon horse in there. You can make a case for pretty much all of these, to be honest, because they all come in having won just a maiden. But Blackbeard's done it. He's got experience in the bag. I think 6 furlongs, good to firm ground, is exactly what he wants. And I think hopefully that experience shows. At 3-1, I make him a bet. The 3:40 race, the King's Stand race, a very hard race to get a handle on, because we've obviously got this Nature Strip, the Australian horse. I've no idea how good he is. I've a fair idea of how good Golden Pal is, and he's good. But that being said, is he a little bit vulnerable at Ascot? Perhaps so. And as a result, I'm going to throw one in at a bit of a price here in Mooneista for Jack Davison at 12-1. I think Mooneista could run a decent enough race here. The stiff 5 furlongs could suit this horse. Jack Davison, a very shrewd trainer, only still new to the game really in the last couple of years, but I think a good horse in Mooneista here, and fingers crossed can run well at a price and probably leave the international product at the top of the market and see just how they go, to be honest, because I don't know the form enough to really be ploughing in on Nature Strip at 7-4, 2-1. The 4:20, the St James's Palace race, I thought this was going to be a Baid situation where it's going to be a complete no bet. That being said, Coerubus now sneaking out to a price of 8-11 in some places. If he gets near even money, I make him a bet. I just don't see how he doesn't win this race, personally speaking. He was fantastic in the Guineas. I actually quite liked him for that race. That's dreadful after timing from me there, but I did quite like him for the race. The form has obviously been well franked by the second going on and winning the Irish Guineas, and I just think there's nothing here in this that is going to beat him, really, unless he's really off boil, which I can't see any reason why that would be the case. And the more and more he drifts, the more and more I'd like him at that type of price. It's a 5 o'clock race, the Ascot Stakes. No original prizes for me here. Bring on the night. Going to stay with Mullins and Moore here. 4-1 at the moment. Again, if it went out to 9-2, 5-1, I'd make him an each-way price. I think I'd even make him an each-way price at 4-1 when you're getting 6 places each way with some bookies. So I just don't see this horse out of the 6. Mullins Jones is only firing the one bullet at the race. Ryan Moore rides. I think he'll be the last to come off the bridle, to be honest. Well, you know, this is how I envisage it. So I'm going to get it badly wrong here, and this horse is going to be pumped along after 2 furlongs. But I just, the way Ryan Moore rides these horses, I suspect he'll be dropped in. He'll try and sigh the way through. Now, obviously, you can get an MC Muldoon situation like last year, who probably should have gone and won the race, but didn't. But I think that was more the horse's head carriage and will to win rather than anything to do with Ryan Moore. I think he's fantastic with these types of horses. So bring on the night, as I say, no prizes for originality, but I think he's the one in the Ascot Stakes. The 5:35, the Wolfsrun Stakes, really keen on Fox's Tails in this at 10-1 for Andrew Balding. Won at the meeting last year over a mile 2 in the 3-year-old's handicap, improved to then become a Group 3 winner throughout the season. Has been 2nd and 4th in 2 Group 3 races this year, and both of them have been very good efforts in races that probably wouldn't have suited. This bigger field will suit him as well. I know a few of you will probably ask, because I was a big fan of Cadillac back when he was a 2-year-old. I just don't like him for this race. He's never convinced me over 10 furlongs, and I'm willing to take him on. The 6:10 race, the Copperhouse Stakes. I'm going to throw 2 bullets at this. My main one, which is the one I've put up on Which Bookie, is Island Brave, 33-1. I think he's a big price for Heather Main. I think he's got a chance off a mark of 98. That's his last winning mark. And also, he usually operates very well around Ascot and has run some big races at this track before. He's an 8-year-old. We know plenty about him at this stage, and there's probably more unexposed rivals in there. But at the same stage, I think he could run a big race at a big price. The other horse I'm going to throw in the mix, I'm just very intrigued by him, is Gordon Elliott's Platinumcard in this. Ryan Sexton takes £5 off him. He was obviously a blot on the handicap hurdle debut for this yard back up in Perth, but then disappointed last time out at Perth as well. So hard to know. I think he won at Ayr and then was beaten at Perth. Hard to know back on the flat, but he had some good flat form at the back end of last year in middle distance handicaps. He goes up to a mile 6 here. I think he's interesting enough to lure me into having a small bet at 20-1. And then one from Roscommon, the Connacht National at 5:25, which really, if we're all being honest about ourselves, and we'll whisper it slowly, is the best race on the whole of tomorrow's cards. I say that in jest, obviously, but for us Jumps fans, it is a good race, and probably my best bet of the day comes in it in the 5:25. It's Jackson's Gold, 13-2. I think he's going to run a massive race in this. He was 5th in the Mayo National last time out. There was a few absolute blots in that race that ended up finishing ahead of him, like Rock Road. I like the way you're thinking. He was 2nd in the beginners before that. He's slowly been coming to the boil over fences. The trip will suit. The track will suit. 13-2, I think, is one of the best bets of the day tomorrow. Anyway, let's hope we have a decent start to the Royal Ascot meeting. Fingers crossed. I can't guarantee that there'll be all 5 days done on this channel, but fingers crossed there will be. I should have enough time to do it, and if we manage to back a winner or two in the process, let's hope it is a good one and we can have a decent day, a bit of fun, and it's nice doing a couple of videos for this channel again. So let me know how you're getting on. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're new around here. Hopefully there'll be a fair few videos throughout the summer months. And of course, let's hopefully land a few bets. I'll see you tomorrow.